Language. It's July 16th, 2026. Welcome to yes2hellwith.com. Language comes in many forms. Probably the most prevalent form of language is the unconscious, unstated language. It's posture, bearing, body language, facial expressions, sounds, intonations, inflections. And then there are the words themselves, the conversation, the subtext, the pretext. It all becomes very complicated. But in the end, it's actually very simple. Unfortunately, people presume, people expect, people project. And oftentimes the message is lost, sometimes by accident, but very often by design. Look at authority figures. The police officer with the high and tight haircut, the mirrored sunglasses, the perfectly creased uniform, shoulders back, chest out, muscles bulging, hands planted firmly on hips, leaning into your personal space as he speaks. You can't even see his eyes. And every bit of this is language. It communicates one thing. I have authority. I am authority. You will listen to me. You are bound by what I say. And when I ask you questions, I'm not really asking the damn question. I'm telling you. It's as if a man assumes a role the moment he receives a title. I'm a cop. I'm a police chief. I'm a sheriff. Authority begins to ooze from every pore of his body. Not because it has necessarily been earned, but because the office has convinced the man that he rules and the people are subject. Many young men leave the military and enter law enforcement. They bring with them a culture of command. It isn't written, it isn't spoken, but everyone feels it. Look around. America has been one of the most incarcerated countries in the world for decades. How does that happen to a free people? That should cause every American to stop and ask, what happened? Not simply to our laws, but to our culture, to our understanding of power. Now look at ourselves. We accept it. We accept the posture. We accept the dominance. We become deferential. We become careful. We instinctively change our tone of voice. We answer questions we were never obligated to answer. What happened to a country as strong and dignified and glorious as America? When did we begin believing that those who temporarily occupy office somehow stand above the very people from whom all authority originates? It's time that we rethink not so much the rule of law, but the center of power, the source of power. Who are we as a people? Because every badge, every office, commission, every oath exists because of us. The people are the sovereign source of power. If I were a police officer, for example, if I were ever a deputy, and certainly if I were ever a sheriff, I would never forget that. I would speak with humility, with respect, with kindness and genuine deference. Not because I am weak, but because I understand who the sovereign authority truly is. It is not enough for the American people to demand respect from public officials. Those who seek public office should possess the caliber, the mettle, the wisdom, and the character to honor and respect the sovereign people without ever being asked. They should look upon every citizen not as subject, but as the very source from which their authority is derived. Almost as if on bended knee, because that is what constitutional humility looks like. True authority does not dominate. True authority serves. And the moment an officer forgets his source of authority, he has begun to rule rather than serve. I'm going to say that again. When an officer forgets the source of his authority, as if he never knew it to begin with, he has begun to rule rather than serve. But this conversation is not really about the police, it's about the American people. It's time that we remember who we are, not with arrogance, not with hostility, not with defiance, but with dignity, grace, wisdom, and self-respect. We must, once again, hold our heads high, stand with shoulders back, speak calmly, speak truthfully, speak with conviction, if only because we understand the limits of the Constitution and the authority of a sovereign people. And above all, speak with an understanding of the Constitution and the natural God-given rights and freedoms that belong to every human being. Communication is not merely speaking. It is giving, receiving, listening, understanding, recognizing the dignity of another while never surrendering our own. When we recover that understanding individually and collectively, we recover something far greater than confidence. We recover our rightful position as a free people, the sovereign people, the true source of all public authority. Then, when we speak with those who occupy public office, we do so neither as subjects nor as adversary, but as free men and women, respectful, firm, wise, self-governed, and in command of ourselves. Not because we seek to dominate, not because we seek to intimidate, but because we understand where authority truly originates. And when we understand who we are, and those who serve in public office understand who we are, something remarkable happens. The conversation changes, the posture changes, the relationship changes. The people are no longer treated as subjects, and those in office are no longer tempted to behave as rulers. A constitutional republic begins to look like a constitutional republic. Not because someone demanded it, but because a free people rightly restored their place as the sovereign source of power. And as always, may truth reign supreme.